Good Sunday to everybody out there listening. It is time for your weekly Sunday sermon, and I am here to deliver the gospel truth to you. We've got some things going on this week in wrestling that I'm really looking forward to seeing. Tomorrow night, to start us off, we've got GCW's Halloween Fright Fest. And I won't be watching Raw live tomorrow because I will be covering and I will be reviewing GCW Fright Fest. And it'll be streaming live on Fight TV. And you have to admire the balls of GCW to put a pay-per-view on Monday night. I mean, you know how I feel about Monday night. That's always been WWE's night. But it's still wrestling night. And to have that option of having GCW and having it up against Raw, that's a great thing. Not a lot of promotions would do that, but that just goes to show you how GCW is and maybe how they've grown over this past year to where they can have a pay-per-view on Monday night and expect a lot of buy rates. I expect a lot of viewers. I'm definitely going to be purchasing and watching, so I'm hoping a lot of fans will too, if you're really, especially if you're looking for an alternative to Raw, which many people are. So that'll be happening tomorrow night. I'll go back, of course, and watch Raw after it's all said and done. I'll be DVRing it, but I'll also be reading the results because honestly, I'm not going to spend the whole 3 hours, just watching and muddling through, especially if the storylines are not that great. I did that as well this past Friday. I was not home on Friday night, so yesterday, Saturday, I read the highlights of the show, went back and watched just, bits and pieces of it because, like I said, the storylines right now are not that great. And that's one thing to say for Raw, but when you have what's recently happened with the draft on SmackDown and you have a lot of the A-listers going to this show and making it look like the top show, and you're still getting the same results that you were getting months ago, that speaks to something needing to be done on creative's part. It's almost like you've got all these great gourmet ingredients, and yet you're still coming forth with fast food level product. No matter how good the ingredients are, if it's all still slapped together without much care, what was the point? And that's how I feel about SmackDown right now. So we'll take that wait and see attitude that we've been taking lately, but we've given a lot of time. A couple of weeks is enough time to get some storylines, set in place. But I think a lot of energy, or a lot of WWE's energy, is going towards Crown Jewel right now. So you have that coming up. That's the next thing I was going to talk about. Crown Jewel's coming up. A lot of fans might not be tuning into this. I'll be tuning in. I'll be watching. A lot of people have taken the position that they don't like a lot of the politics that are going on there with the Saudi deal, and they have a right to think that. They are very validated in thinking that. I'm going to be watching as a fan, just because I want to see how this whole Team Hogan and Team Flair thing plays out, and I want to see if I was right, if it should have been saved for Survivor Series. I think that we kind of shoehorned Crown Jewel into pay-per-views, WWE's list of pay-per-views, and expecting it to be this huge, big spectacle on the same level as WrestleMania, which I don't think is the case. WrestleMania is its own thing. It's a week-long event. Crown Jewel is a Saudi pay-per-view. Just because you have a lot of money involved here doesn't mean it's a WrestleMania-level product. But I'll be watching to see what those results are like. As of right now, though, WWE storylines could be a lot stronger with the characters they've got, the talent they've got, and with the competition they've got. I've said that many times before. AEW, and not just AEW, you got NWA as well. And NWA's storylines for an indie promotion, they are so solid. If you're watching NWA Power on Tuesday nights, you've got some storylines with just the right amount of drama, the right amount of emotion, and this is just a little indie. It's not like they have the $1 billion that WWE has. It's not like they have the money that AEW has. But you still have the heart there. and that counts for something. And also, you have to take into consideration that these are men and women that get signed left and right. Take, for example, Shotzi Blackheart. She was going to, fight Nick Gage at uncharted territory, and that storyline kind of got interrupted, maybe because of contractual obligations. But you still have storylines that are worth watching, despite people getting sniped here and there. So, that's something that should kind of shame these bigger promotions. If we are seeing in-depth stories taking place on smaller promotions in just 1 hour, or sometimes less than an hour, on the NWA show, why can't it happen with the bigwigs? Just something to wonder. So, yeah, NWA Power coming on Tuesday night. And, of course, you have AEW Dark on Tuesday night as well. And one thing I like about AEW Dark, when you think about it, it's really kind of like WWE's main event show, but promoted much better, marketed much better. They are marketing AEW Dark as, oh, these are great matches. Some of them pay-per-view quality matches that just didn't happen to get aired. And I think when you have shows like WWE Main Event, where these are dark matches that, here you go, and nothing really said much about them, there's no special quality about that. So, not to, completely trash WWE, but if they look at how a lot of these other shows are marketed, you could have, Main Event looking a lot better than what it has. I don't think a whole lot of people are really tuning into that because they don't really have any option or incentive to. Nobody really talks about it. It's just those matches that take place. So it's nice to see other promotions giving consideration to their dark matches, the ones that aren't, the headliners or the A-listers or the big names. Other things that we have going on in wrestling, looks like we have some kind of controversy going on as far as social media is concerned. You have NXT wrestler Jordan Myles, who I'm, kind of familiar with as I go back and watch NXT episodes after I watch AEW Dynamite. And you have this guy, Jordan Myles, really talented fella. He's taken offense to some of the merchandise that they put forth for him. And we know that NXT is not the greatest when it comes to creative design in their merchandise. And so we have this shirt. I'm looking at a picture of the shirt right now. Black shirt, got a red shape, looks like a mouth shape on it. And in white letters, you've got the name Jordan Myles. And it looks corny as hell, just to start off with. But it is also offensive because it does look like a racist caricature. It does look like, we're only focusing on his, smile, maybe big lips, white teeth, black shirt. That's offensive. And you have Jordan Myles coming out and speaking on that. He's bringing attention to that and that he is not happy with it. And, clearly he had some merit to what he was saying because that shirt is no longer available. They pulled it and they tweaked it to where it's a different looking design now. Still corny, but a little bit less offensive. And then you have some of your fan base out there. I call them WWE apologists because they're out there. There are some people, WWE could take a shit in their mouth and they would say it tastes like, filet mignon. That's just who these people are. They just kind of consider WWE their surrogate family for some reason. And so nothing they do is wrong, or you just get offended so easily from it. These people are full of shit. They are. If somebody working for the company comes out and says, hey, I'm not happy with this product that you are assigning me, he has no creative control over what they give him, but he can speak out on it. And clearly, like I said, this is something that had merit. What he had to say, clearly was true because they wouldn't have pulled the shirt otherwise. But these fans, WWE fans, that would accept anything, and they do. They accept the worst of the storylines. They accept the worst of the worst. I don't know why. Maybe they just, there's sadomasochism out there, and they're just those people that enjoy being shit on. They are the ones who are going toward Jordan Myles and saying, no, no, oh, you're just so offended at nothing. Now, if he takes offense, that's his shirt. That is his shirt. That is his product. If people go to shows and buy that shirt, that's his brand that they're giving him. Because, like I said, they don't give them any creative control. If he's offended by that, let him be offended by that. Let him press for the change on that. For you to sit there and say, you're just so offended so easily by that, you're full of shit. You know it. And you know that you would accept anything WWE does, whether it pisses you off or not, because that's just your company. That's your self-esteem. A wrestling company, a wrestling promotion who can do no wrong. That's just sad. You can do better. And that's my one little rant for this week. I'm not going to speak much more on that because Jordan Myles has already handled that situation. He said what he said, and they corrected it. But these fans that, would defend this company on just any measure, do better. Or at least watch better wrestling. Pathetic. I'm going to move on to other things going on. Looks like there was a show in Puerto Rico also. WWE did a live event in Puerto Rico where, of course, card is always subject to change. And you had wrestlers not appearing, and people were disappointed by that. Multiple wrestlers not appearing. I mean, big names. And apparently Rey Mysterio also was taking on Baron Corbin. And it looks like he was, quote-unquote, offensive. And actually, when I look at that, it was offensive. Yeah, what he had to say basically was calling Baron Corbin a cocksucker. So, once again, if people take offense to that, let them. That's a part of Puerto Rico's culture that's completely different from what would happen in, say, Mexico. And so if people are offended by that, let them be, And maybe it's up to WWE to educate their wrestlers more on the culture of where they're going instead of just, hey, here's the next town you're in. Hey, say what you want. Usually that's the case with a live event. They get to say what they want. In this case, didn't go over so well for Ray. But, sometimes when people get offended by something, it's not just a part of our call-out culture, so to speak. Sometimes it's legitimately bad. If somebody doesn't want a shirt that looks like blackface, if somebody doesn't want their kid chanting that somebody's a cocksucker, hear them out. Don't just go defending your company, your self-esteem, your promotion. I've been there. I've been there to where WWE, back when it was WWF, was the end-all and be-all, and they could do no wrong. Of course, I was 12 years old at the time. I grew past that and realized, what? Sometimes what they do is bullshit. And sometimes what the workers say might be bullshit. So, yeah, there's a lot that could be done better by WWE's creative team, by their workers. I don't think Ray needs to go out and apologize for what he said, but definitely know the culture of where you're at. And that just falls upon the wrestler's shoulders, too. So, yeah, just kind of drama going on back and forth. Whether you are on social media listening to Jake Hager saying, his truth about how he feels about being lost and how Cesaro might feel about that, let people have their voice. Let people say their truth, and don't just take it as a shot at your promotion. And why is it your promotion to begin with? You're not getting paid by them. You're just spending your money on them. I think people put so much of their self-esteem in these promotions, whether it's AEW or whether it's WWE. It's just a wrestling company. It's not you. So don't go to their defense every time somebody finds something that needs to be corrected. Anyway, that's all I had to say for this week so far. I'll be checking in again on Wednesday after we have the Monday night shows and the Tuesday night shows as well, and see where we're at. In the meantime, be good to each other, listen to each other, hear each other out, be kind, and enjoy your Sunday.